Hi everyone! I'm so excited to be back. My name is Abby and you're watching Abbiknits. This is my quarterly annual knitting podcast. I try to do, my original goal was to do one every season, and I don't know how successful I've been at that because you haven't seen me in a while, but I'm very happy to be back, and I'm happy to show you everything that I got up to sort of the end of spring and into the summertime. I think we can officially say that summer knits are over. I have pretty much moved on to planning for the autumnal season and winter, so I'm really excited to show you what I got up to this summer, some of the things I made. I did make a video earlier this year of all my planned things to knit. I don't think I followed any of those plans. Like most knitting podcasts, I will follow the standard podcast format, so I will start with my finished objects, I'll go to my whips, and then we'll talk about some yarn that I accumulated over the summer holiday. I'm very excited about it, and I hope you're really excited to be here with me. So let's get started with my finished objects of the season. Honestly, don't remember what I said in my last podcast was finished, so I'm going to start with one object that you may have seen before, so I do apologize if you've already seen it, but I wanted to start with it anyway because it's something that I finished early in the spring season, and it took a lot of effort, and I made a lot of changes to it. I believe if I have shown it, it was in a different state than the state it is in now. So, little peeky preview, that is my second Daydreamers cardigan. So I have knit a Daydreamers cardigan before, and I decided to try again. I sized up my needles quite a bit, and this is the finished result. She's not engaged, but that's okay. I'm still really happy with her mostly. What I actually ended up doing was throwing her in the washing machine and giving her a little bit of a felt just to sort of press the stitches together. My original goal was to make this as similar to this as on, I think it's the Manon Cardigna, as similar as possible. I almost achieved that. I also think it's not quite there. I have seen a couple of projects where people actually use the inside as the outside because the Manon Cardigna kind of has that texture on the outside instead of the half fisherman rib stitch that you get. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll put some pictures of me wearing it. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with my balloon sleeve. You can see it like properly balloons. And I'm happy that I felted it. Originally it was way too wide because I blocked it. I wet blocked it, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just steamed blocked it to keep sort of the squishiness of it. But I think felting it has really helped. My button band is struggling. It's a little wonky. I've blocked it 2 or 3 times and I can't fix it. But overall, really happy with this. I do think I've shown it to you before, but I thought I'd just mention it, that it has been felted to sort of just make slightly better, and I've got some buttons on it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I've worn it out quite a lot. I think the band is a little too wide, but what can you do? I could, in theory, pick up less stitches, but I don't really want to be dealing with that now that it's been felted, so quite happy with it. I wear it all the time. It's a nice transitional piece into autumn, and I'm definitely looking forward to styling it with some cute jeans. So after I finished my Daydreamers cardigan, I did take quite a break, and as like a break project, I decided to impromptu, with some leftover cotton yarn, make another Sailor Swift top, this time in light blue. I do have 2 other versions of it, and each one has a slightly different edging. So for this one, I followed in my pink one. I've got a pink one which has the correct ribbing at the bottom, and it's got the I-cord edges on the sides and on the neckline. And then I've got a navy blue one which has the I-cord edges on all of the sides, neckline, and also on the bottom. So on this one, I thought, why not be unique and fun? And I did ribbing on the neckline and on the sleeves and on the bottom. So it is different than my other ones with the edging, and it is slightly more cropped on accident because I got bored and I didn't want to knit it anymore. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I got a lot of wear out of it this summer with my other 2 Sailor Swift tops. This is my favorite summer top pattern, so I'm really happy that I've been able to make a second one. I'm kind of on par to just make one every year, which I think is quite fun. So we'll see what my next one is. I think I need to make like a darker color because I have quite a lot of, maybe more of an autumnal or like work appropriate. I'm thinking maybe just like a pure white so I can wear it under pieces. I think that could be very nice. to give a try, although because I do wear these to death, I do appreciate that I'm able to throw them in the wash. So I actually, for the first time, threw all 3 of them into the actual washing machine, and I feel like it actually did really well. I feel like it cleaned everything. Nothing's like come undone or peeling. There's no ends popping out, so I'm really quite happy. So if you're wondering, can you put cotton yarn in your washing machine? Highly recommend as a way to clean your summer tops. But I am really happy with this. Like I said, I've worn it a lot. I like having a small project on my needles, so it was nice to finish that up. And I think I finished this in early June. I did take quite a bit of a break after my Daydreamers cardigan because it took me forever and I had been unhappy with it, and I just felt like I was dwelling on the cardigan. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I had the time to then knit this, because I feel like this kind of got me back in the groove. I did also knit this in drops saffron. I think I had some left over of the light blue, and then the white stripes or white yarn that I had left over from my pink version, which I also knit in drops saffron. So I still think it's a great cotton yarn. It's not very soft. I use there's a soft-strand Grana cotton yarn that I find is extremely soft, but it's not too bad. It holds up, it's sturdy, it definitely has a cottony feel, but if you don't mind that, then I highly recommend using it to make your next summer top. And also, if you want a last-minute summer top pattern, highly recommend the Sailor Swift top. Also quickly, because I did not tell you the yarn for my Daydreamers cardigan, I did knit this with Drops Air and a strand of the Knitting for Olive Mohair. So it's quite luxurious and luxe, very soft. Probably felting wasn't the best idea, but it just means I can't undo it, and I'll just have to be happy with how it is. So after I finished my Sailor Swift top, I decided that I needed to finish some whips because I was just in the dumps with things that I had going on. I was like, I can't be having all of these knitted things and not have them done. So I decided to finish my Josephine top, which has a journey. It's all over 2x2 rib. I think I picked the wrong yarn for it because it doesn't want to stay cinched. Like, as much as I try to cinch it, it just doesn't want to stay small. Like, I've blocked it 3 or 4 times, and I've changed the neckline 3 or 4 times as well to try to keep it cinched, and it just wants to sit wide at the top, which is fine because the bottom is staying cinched, but the top just does not want to sit wide. It sits wide, it doesn't want to sit together. It also, I found this is a really hard color to match. It's unfortunately not navy blue, even though on camera it kind of comes up as like a nice dark blue. When I try to pair it with anything navy blue, it looks gray. Let me show you. I have this navy blue skirt, like, look how gray, it's too light, but then when I pair it with light blue, it's too dark. Actually, that's not too bad, but it's too dark. So I am struggling to style it. I kind of wanted to wear it to work, but also it's slightly too long because it's knit bottom up. I just trusted the pattern. I did cut off a little bit of, I think, like a few inches at the bottom. I should have not even done, I thought I should have just gone into the increases immediately because it did grow as well, of course, with blocking. So what I had to do on the top to bind off is what I actually did was I bound off every other purl stitch. I bound off together to try to cinch the top in because it just wouldn't stay together. Originally I did Judy's stretchy cast off because I was worried because it was such a wide boat neck that it wouldn't fit over my shoulders because of the cinching, but then it was like rolling and it just wasn't sitting correctly. So then I just did a normal cast off and it still was very stretchy. So finally I decided to knit 2 purls off every other, and I think that's probably the best thing I could have done, but it still doesn't like to stay cinched together at the top, which is fine. It's nice. It is now less wide. It's more of like a scoop, a little shorter of a neckline because I've done that, but I think it had to be done considering the rib. But see, when I fold it in half, I feel like it does cinch together, so maybe I'm just being crazy, but every time I wear it, I do feel a bit like, I wish it was more cinched together. This was knit in Knitting for Olive Merino held double, which I think was a poor choice, so I don't recommend the Merino held double specifically because I don't think it holds the rib very well. I think I should have used the recommended yarn, but I did not, and that's okay. I wanted to try something fun and fancy, and I had bought the yarn with the intent of making something nice. So I'm quite happy with it. I did actually then, of course, have to use double the amount of yarn that I probably would have needed to because I was holding it double. So this is quite a luxuriously costing top, which is why I want to get more wear out of it. I just need to find the right colored skirt to pair, the right navy blue. I haven't weaved the neckline in yet just because I was waiting to see if I wanted to undo it since I've undone it like 3 times. But I think this is the best neckline I'm going to get. I don't think there's any point in making it any tighter without it not being able to fit around my head and over my shoulders. So, but I am very happy I finally finished it. I started this last August, so it was almost a year that I had been working on it. So it was really nice just to kind of get it off my needles, have it done. It is a gorgeous pattern. It was a fun pattern to follow. Also a tiny needle project. I think I knit this on 3.5 millimeters. But yeah, overall I'm happy with it. It's a wonderful luxurious top. I just need to find how to pair it. It doesn't really work with jeans because it's like a softer material if it's sitting on the band of the bottoms, like a trouser or a skirt, you can really see it peek through and like bunches the fabric. So I need to find either a really low-waisted pair of jeans or something, just because it's so long. But it is gorgeous. I'll find somehow to style it, and as long as I have one pair of something, then I think it'll be really good. But quite happy with the overall. And it was just nice to get off my needles. There was one other whip on my needles that I think I started in late winter, maybe like February. Maybe it was spring, and then I just kind of sat on it. So basically I bought some yarn off of Vinted. I bought some old discontinued Rowan. I think it was merino and silk, some kind of silk blend. It might have just been standard wool and silk, an old Rowan blend. And I had I had bought 2 dye lots because I thought it'll be fun. They were quite significantly different, but that's okay. I think it's fine, so I will show you what I did knit with it. This was also a whip on my needles that I finally decided to finish, and that is Blouse No. 1 by My Favorite Things. So you can see there's a little stripey on the arm, and there's just like a lighter stripe right through the middle of the garment. The ends are also not weaved in because this has gone through like 3 iterations and I had to redo it. So my original idea was to make this more like a t-shirt. So I started with a rolled hem, and I wore that, and I did a rolled hem on the sleeves as well, and it was fine. It looked a little frumpy. I can insert a picture. It was okay, like it looked nice, but in practicality, I just don't think this yarn was suited for the rolled hem and like the style of the top. It just didn't suit. So I got back from my holiday, I undid it, and I just did my normal cast off. Actually, I'm really happy I did the normal cast off at the bottom because it added about 3 centimeters of length, which made it slightly nicer than the cropped version I was getting with my folded hem. And I will say, it's so much better. Trust the pattern. It's so much better. I wouldn't recommend folding these hems. Just the type of top that it is just supposed to be like a flowy, easy breezy top. So I'm really happy with it. My neckline turned out really well. I finally figured out how to like connect yarn. There's only one bad connection on the back of the shirt, so I'm quite pleased with it. It does need one more block once I put my ends in, but I'm not too worried about it. It's been blocked 3 times, so I think it will survive. I do believe I've got my sleeves the exact same length as well. I made a lot of effort measuring. I'm trying to get better at actually measuring rather than counting rows. Although I wouldn't say my math is any better with measuring, but I am really happy with it. I think just doing the standard bind off has really helped the shape of the top, and I think it looks a lot better. I'll put a picture in as well for you. Of course, my Ravelry is linked below, and I do update quite regularly there, so you're welcome to check that out to see like progress pictures and final pictures. If I don't have any photos to add to the screen, I will have them on Ravelry, definitely. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's actually so soft. I wish you could feel it. I've never used exclusively silk yarn, so this is quite nice because it's like mixed with silk. So in my head, I'm pretending that it's got some kind of silk in it. It does have like a slight rough texture, but also a soft, which I think must be the wool And then the silk must be the like slightly rougher texture that I'm feeling, or maybe it's the other way around. Probably the other way around. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I still would like to knit a blouse number 1 out of knitting for olive soft silk, so I think that might be sooner up on my list than originally, because I think a navy blue version would be really chic for work, and I think I would be able to wear that to work. I would like to wear this as workwear, but because of the slightly more rustic material and the fact that it's got like a giant white stripe through the middle, I just think it does look a little homemade, not in a bad way, just in the way that I don't think is quite professional enough for work, but I do think in a luxurious yarn, the shapes would work. In terms of the pattern modification, I actually did shorten the sleeves significantly. I kind of just eyeballed it, and then I did it to the where you increase for the bell sleeve, and then I kind of just stopped when I thought it was long enough. So it's not like a proper bell sleeve, but I don't mind too much. I do think I could dress this up with like a black pair of work trousers and heels. I think this would be fine. You can see like it's quite a wide gauge as well, so I think maybe what I'd have to do is modify the gauge just to be slightly smaller and then make one size up, and then I think that might make it slightly more professional for work, but I'll have to take a look. Maybe my next project is that. Maybe that's the next plan. But overall, very happy with this. Happy to get it off my needles and out of my in-progress bag. That was 2 whips done in the spring, so I'm really, really happy with that. There is one more thing that I have finished in the season. I actually just finished it yesterday, so this is very exciting. I put a little tiny needle project on my needles because sometimes I just need a tiny needle project. Once I show you what I'm working on, it will make more sense. But I decided to do a Sophie scarf in this lovely like matcha green color. I don't remember, it's knit in Cardiff Cashmere Classic. I don't remember the green color exactly. I will put all the information below for you in case you'd like to use this green, because I know it's very popular at the moment. And look how gorgeous she is. I did knit it in the small because I only had 1 ball of Cardiff Cashmere. I still have about 5 grams left over, but I have a plan for what I'm going to do with that, which I will talk you through when we get to acquisitions. But yeah, I just knit a Sophie scarf. I had a little Cashmere Cardiff buying moment last month because if you don't know, I'm on a mission to knit Sophie scarves in as many colors as possible. I want like a Sophie scarf. If you've ever seen The Princess Diaries and she has like that jewelry drawer, like I want that but with Sophie scarves. So this is Sophie scarf number 2 in her lovely little croissant shape. But I'm really happy with it. I feel like my cast on and my cast off is almost perfect. I did all my increases. I feel like my tension was great. I think this might be like a really good stable point of like showing how much better I've got at paying attention to the details, and like I feel like I am not scared to mess up. Like I'll undo things, especially with some of my whips that are now finished objects. I spent a lot of time just like undoing and redoing them, which when I first started would have horrified me, and it would have been like all this hard work. But you actually want to do that because you want to wear the items, so you might as well just undo them so that you wear them. So I'm really quite happy. I feel like this Sophie scarf is a way to show my progress and is like almost perfect, so very, very happy with it. I will be knitting another one. I also have plans to knit little tiny Sophie scarves for all of my work colleagues, so I need to get on top of that. This took me about 3 days of consistent work. I think it was on the needle for 4 days, but I think I spent about 2.5 just like exclusively knitting on it, so I feel like that's pretty good. Very happy with this. Another one to add to my collection. Thank you for sitting through my finished objects. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you loved them. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Now we will get to whips. Not very many. I've done a good job. I do have 1 remaining whip on my needles that I'm avoiding a little bit. It is my Manon Cardigan. I'll put a picture up, but I literally haven't touched it since like February, I think. Maybe like once I think I was like, oh, I'll do this whip, and I did a row and I just couldn't be bothered. It's the seed stitch that's really killing me. I don't know why I struggle with repetitive rib. It's just not something I enjoy knitting, so that's not going to count, but that is on my needles as a whip still. This first whip has been on my needles for an infinite amount of time. I think every time I look at it, it gets shorter. Every time I do a row, it doesn't grow in length. And that is my mixed rib cami by Florence Miller. This is knit in her recommended yarn, which is 1 strand of knitting for all of Merino in the shade Dusty Banana, which is gorgeous and I love it and I can't wait for it to be done. But I am still trying to get the back, just like the back yoke done, so then I can pick up for the shoulders. And it's killing me. Like, I feel like I've been at 13 centimeters for like 27 rows. Like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And then the problem is, once I hit 16 centimeters, I'm then increasing for the shoulders, which feels like it would be faster, but I think it's still gonna take even longer. Then I have to do the shoulders, and then I'm gonna have to do the front all over again. But once I connect in the round, I think it will be fine. I just have to get to that point, which feels like that's far away. It feels far away. So this guy has been sitting on my needles since like February or March, maybe even January. I'm gonna say February. I did actually pull back at some point because I had been doing the rib incorrectly, but that was like ages ago. So I've definitely recovered from my pullback point, but I just feel like I haven't made a lot of progress. But it is a really squishy fabric. It does look really nice. I'm excited to get it done. It just is taking forever. So it's kind of like my long-term whip. If I go somewhere and I feel like I can sit and pay attention to the rib pattern, then I'll take this whip with me. But normally it would be a Sophie Scarf. So you know what? You win some, you lose some. Eventually I'll get through this. I really would like it to be done. I'd like to make another one because I know like this ripped pattern is gorgeous and I know the way it's gonna work and fit is gonna be perfect. So I kind of want to make one in white, but maybe when I do a knitting for olive silk, I'll get 2 balls or 3 of like a white color with the intent to make another one of these in white, because then I can wear it to work and like under a blazer, and I think that would be really good. I also think the yellow is a really good work color. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I'm mad at it and happy with it. I feel like I'm making good progress. My rib is a little bit uneven, but I think it will block out for sure. And I'm also being careful with making sure I'm doing the pattern. Again, like I said, I'm getting braver at pulling back. So when I did actually end up pulling back, it must have been like 4 centimeters that I had to rip back a couple months ago. And I was really glad that I did because it's looking much better than it was before. So I want to make sure that I'm happy with the things that I'm making, even though it's the back of the top. I think it's still worth putting in the effort to make it as perfect as I want it to be. So this whip, I literally started a week and a half ago and I've made so much progress. I don't know what it is about sweaters that are not knit in the round, but for me, I work on them so much faster. I just think I enjoy the process more than knitting in the round, if that makes sense. So this actually was on my plans this year, and that is the Great Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. Sorry, I can't figure out where the front is. It's working up so well. I'm a little scared of the marling, but I think it's quite nice. This is knit in the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino Plum, held with the soft silk mohair and dusty violet, which is why you're getting that kind of marled effect. I think it's going to be oversized how I want it to be, which is very exciting because I was debating between a small and a medium, but I think the small is going to be just oversized. And let me tell you my idea. So I wasn't planning on knitting this yet, but then I was thinking about how I really wanted to knit a sweater, and I didn't want to knit something in the round because I was craving the like joy that I had while knitting my porcelain sweater, which I really enjoyed that process. That's like start with the back, pick up, drop shoulder. That's a drop shoulder. So it starts with your long stitches on the back, and then you kind of knit your short rows to then make your triangle, and then you pick up for the shoulders. Loved that. So I thought, I have this pattern. I've been waiting to start it. I have the yarn. I mean, it is my intent to knit the Great Lakes anyway, so I thought, well, I might as well start it. So I have started it. I was scared with blocking, so I've got an incorrect row gauge. So my row gauge was longer. So when I was knitting the number of rows that I was supposed to knit, it was measuring longer than it was supposed to measure. So I've just been measuring rather than counting rows, and so far so good. I've gotten to the lengths that I'm supposed to get. After I did the like increases, for the underarms, I believe I was supposed to be at 9 centimeters or something, or 9 inches, something like that, and I was exactly at 9 inches. So I think even though my row gauge is off, I'm kind of hitting row gauge as well. So that's very exciting. So everything so far mathematically is working. I'm a little worried about my saddle shoulders not being exactly the same, but I think it's fine. I feel like one is slightly longer, but I did measure them and blocked both of them. Hopefully it's fine. I feel like they're supposed to be longer, but I did measure, so they're exactly the length that she told me to make them. I think so. But anyway, I'm quite excited about it. It'll be nice. And then I'm making some changes to the ribbing. So I don't know if you guys have seen the like viral J. Crew rolled neck sweater, but specifically one that has a lovely like 2-inch rib and then it rolls, and it's got like 2x2 rib and then it rolls on the sleeves. And I kind of wanted to recreate it, and I was like, well, there's no need for me to buy a new pattern when I can just modify the ribbing on my drop shoulder pattern. And also because it's in a merino and mohair, it'll be like nice for the winter, so it won't quite have the same effect because it's not cotton. However, I think the vibes will still be there, and I think it'll be better for me that it's not in cotton, just because I like a nice cozy sweater. So my plan is to still pick up normal. I like the sort of deeper collar mock neck that the Great Lakes cardigan has, which is why I chose this over the just like Lakes pullover, and why I chose the Great Lakes, because originally I really wanted like a chic, very like tall neck. So at the moment my plan is to knit about a mock neck length with the 2x2 rib and then a little rolled edge, and I think I'll copy that down on the cuffs and at the bottom of the jumper as well. Once I get a decent way through the body, I'm thinking once I finish both, or when I finish my next merino ball, I think I might pop onto the collar just to sort of look at what the vibes will start looking like, because I am a little worried that it's not going to be perfect. But yeah, that way I can sort of get a vibe doing like the 2x2 ribbing before I commit to doing that on every like edge part of the jumper. So I'm quite excited. I might even just jump into that first because I'm curious for how it's going to pull everything in, especially if I'm worried that my saddle shoulders don't feel like they're as long as they need to be. But I did block them and I measured them, so I'm 85% confident that I measured them correctly. So I might measure them again as well, just in case. I mean, I picked up everything. No, I think it's fine. I'm not even going to double check myself because I did already do that, and I should believe that I did it correctly. But yeah, I'm really quite happy. This is the first time I'm like holding it in the sun. The marling is not my favorite, but what can you do? I did pick like a really light mohair to hold with the really dark purple, so marling is just unavoidable, and it was kind of my intent to gray it out. Yeah, no, I think this is exactly what I wanted. I think I knew what I was doing, so I'm quite happy with this. This is my current main whip. After I finished that Sophie Scarf, I'm kind of like, I was jumping back and forth, so I'm happy to keep working the body in the round, and hopefully I'll make some decent progress within the next month so I can start wearing this in September, if it would rain, at the beginning of autumn, and just get a full season of wear out of it. I think a lot of my jumpers I knit in the autumn winter, so I don't get to wear them for the entire season, so it'll be nice to have this ready to go, as well as my other whips, which I think are perfectly suitable for the autumn as well. Now to the even more exciting part, which is my acquisitions. I have got a few things to show you from the summer holidays. I did a little bit of yarn shopping, so I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I think I'll start with an interesting one. So like I said, I have a favorite cotton, and that is the Safran and Grena, just like 100% cotton. I think it's called Anna and Clara's 100% cotton, that you can find at Safran and Grena, which is like a European craft store. So I picked up like a chocolate brownie color and a peach. I'm literally like dying every time I look at it. I have knit a swatch, which I can't find, so I'm gonna pop up a picture so you can sort of see the vibes that I'm going for. But my thought is to make a stripy long sleeve v-neck cotton top. But the only thing I'm struggling with is figuring out a pattern. So I'm kind of thinking this might be my first designed by myself object. but then I'm also worried because I don't want to do it again. So like I don't want to make 2 of them. So this one's going to be quite a lot of like processing and thinking. Simply because I don't want to make a pattern, I just want to make the object that I'm envisioning in my head. So I think if you see the swatch, you can see that's going to be like mostly brown with peachy stripes. I think like every 8 or 10 rows, I want like quite wide, chunky stripes. But I wanted to like V with like quite a tight to the body sleeve, but I've not been able to find any like sleeved cottonish V-neck patterns that kind of give the like tight, very like 2000s Henley vibe is kind of what I'm going for. So my current plan is to use like, I think it's the Night Cami by Lily Kate Makes. I'm kind of really like the way that V sits, but that is a tank top. So then I was thinking I could modify it to add sleeves, but I'm not sure. I think I would have to do short rows to get kind of the like capped sleeve that I'm wanting, and then it would have to go down from there. So it does kind of depend on what I want to do, but my current plan is to use her pattern to get most of it, and then I'll kind of figure out the sleeves from once I complete that pattern, and then maybe it'll just be like sleeve making is something that I'll just have to invent out of my head. But I'm kind of avoiding that at the minute because I'm not ready to commit until I get more whips off of my needles. So yeah, but I'm really excited. I love this color combo. I think it suits my skin tone as well. I'm just overall really excited. I think it'll be a vibe, and then if I like it, I can make another one. But currently, that is the plan. So I bought, I think like 3 or 4 of that, and I bought 2 orange ones. The next yarn I have has already been caked because I originally was just gonna like jump immediately into a Monday sweater with this yarn. And then I got to the collar and I had messed it up, and I was just like, you know what, I feel like this yarn could be used for something else because it's absolutely stunning and gorgeous. So I got the West Yorkshire Spinners Blue Leister in this gorgeous purple. Can you see I have a color palette? I hope you can see my color palette throughout. But this gorgeous, gorgeous purple from West Yorkshire Spinners Blue, I think it's Blue Face Leister. I believe it's a DK weight. I don't know how many yards, 200 something. I think I have like 900 meters of it. So I was gonna make a cropped-ish Monday sweater, but now I've been thinking I might make like a tinier cardigan. I think, I don't know, I just like to do something nice out of this, not just like another Monday sweater because I can. Like I'd like to think more deeply about it. It was a little bit of a impulse purchase, and then my mother-in-law so kindly bought it for me, so now I feel like I want to make something really special out of it. But it did cake up really gorgeous, so that's really fun. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with those yet, but I do have 4, yeah, I've got 4 skeins to work with there, so that'll be fun. Whenever I decide, I think it'll end up being like a DK on a smaller needle cardigan, or maybe like a V-neck. Ooh, maybe like a V-neck sweater or V-neck jumper. That could be really nice. Okay, we're here for the exciting part, the part you've been waiting for, which is my Cardiff Cashmere with my Sophie Scarf. So firstly, you already saw I knit one Sophie Scarf out of this lovely green shade. So this is one Cardiff Cashmere that I purchased. Then I've got Cashmere Classic in color 644 in a gorgeous light blue. I can't wait to make this Sophie Scarf. She's going to be stunning. Then I also picked up in shade 628, deep, deep red. This is my favorite shade of red. I actually want to dye. It's so perfect. I will one day have to make something out of, like a garment out of this color because it's perfect in everything that I love. It's the best. So very excited about that. And then I picked up a nice deep dark brown. So you can see I kind of picked up 2 spring colors and 2 like winter and autumn colors, and this is shade 643. But I'm really excited about all of these. As you can see, I have a little bit of yarn left over from my Sophie Scarf, so my plan is to make a long skinny scarf with all of my leftover Cardiff Cashmere, very like 2000s Gilmore Girls, like no pattern, just like skinny scarf. And because I want to make all my work friends a Sophie Scarf, it will require 1 ball of cashmere. Hopefully I'll have quite a few of these like 5 grams left, so I can do a very cute like striped, very long. I'm talking like 5 foot, maybe not quite 5 feet long, but like 3 meters, maybe a little less than 3. That's 3 meters is more than 5 feet. 2 meters, that's even more than 5 feet, 1.5, a 1.5 meter length skinny scarf I think would be really awesome. So I'm just kind of collecting some Cardiff Cashmere scraps, and I'll just kind of knit stripes until I'm happy with the length. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that as like a side project, which will obviously take a bit of time, but depending on how many Sophie scarves I make for my colleagues at work, we'll see. We'll see how long I can make it. I'm hoping to get 2 stripes out of each one, but I might get 3. Who knows? Who knows? I'll have to be careful with my colors as well. I do want it to be funky and fun, but I also want to be like cautious of the color palette. So this though, this is my color palette plus yellow. I think if we add the dusty banana and the purple, that's my color palette for sure. But yeah, I was really happy about this purchase. It was kind of just like a treat with some extra money that I had over for the month, and I think making a Sophie scarf with Cardiff Cashmere is a really nice way to use like luxury yarn in small amounts, so it makes me excited. With the amount of Cardiff Cashmere that I will end up buying, I probably could have just made a whole garment out of it, but I think having multiple things and being able to gift luxury knitted items to people is actually more worth it than just having one garment of Cardiff Cashmere. So I'm really quite excited about it. I'm also really excited to start my skinny scarf, so that might be something I just start so I have on the needles. I'll probably knit it in 3.5, but I'm also tempted to give the 3mm a try, although I know a 3.5 will make it done faster. So definitely don't want to do 4. Maybe, actually, no, I think I like Cardiff Cashmere knitted on a 3.5mm, so I think I'll stick with 3.5, but I do know if I use a 4, it will knit up faster. So there's always that to consider as well. I'll have to do a few trial and errors just to see how I like the fabric, but overall, this is my fun purchase from the summer. I'm so excited about my Cardiff Cashmere. I will eventually do a whole video where I talk you through every color that I want to use. I have a like Cardiff Cashmere booklet that shows me every color that's available in their classic, so I kind of look through that sometimes and think about what colors of my Sophie scarves that I want. But yeah, overall I'm really excited. I'm really happy with everything that I got through this summer and spring. I hope you enjoyed getting to chat and sit down with me. I hope you had a lovely cup of tea, because I did have a lovely cup of tea. If you'd like to know, this is Earl Grey with a little bit of milk and some honey, so try that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that I catch you again. I'm really gonna start trying to make knitting vlogs, weekly vlogs again, because that was delightful and it brought me so much joy, and I really enjoyed getting to catch up with you guys every week and show you what I'm working on. So hopefully you will see me again soon, but if you don't, just know that we're gonna have a really fun winter knitting Sophie scarves. Yay, I will see you later. Please let me know what's on your needles, what you've been working on, what's your thing you're most proud of from the last 2 seasons that you've either finished or started, or yarn that you've acquired. I would love to know. And I will see you when I see ya. Bye.